howdy there partners, it's your favorite gamer here, putting the big game back in gamer, another fantastic video by yours truly. Oh my god, it's been 3 months, hasn't it, since I last uploaded the video. Here's what happened with that. I was working on another video for about a month or so, and there were various audio issues throughout that whole thing, to the point where I had to re-record it like 4 or 5 times. It still did not come out sounding good, so I'm going to put that on the shelf for now because I don't want to put something out there that's of bad quality. But hey, we're now in spooky month, so time to update the avatar to a more appropriate look. There we go, looking a little more snazzy. Now the outfit is a direct reference to Johann Liebert of Monster, and the eye patch is a direct reference to Mai Misaki of Another. Anyways, today I'm bringing y'all another response video to Alfweagle, and I did originally have a plan for the month. I was working on like 3 videos at once, and because I was trying to figure out the audio issues again, I'm going to be releasing 2 videos this month, this video and another video which is going to be a review of a horror movie. I'm going to get these 2 videos up before Halloween and then upload more consistently because I do like making videos and I do want to grow the channel a bit. And speaking of the channel, I've reached 100 subscribers. Let's go people, let's go. I want to thank you all so much. I want to thank you all so much for taking the time to watch my videos. I know they can be long at times and the audio issues are very evident, but no, thank you for sticking around. Anyways, now back to who the video is about, Alfweagle. And oh look, he updated his persona a bit. Now the avatar looks like it's positioned in a way where it's going to pounce at the viewer, booty warrior style. But don't worry, if you're not straight and white, you're safe from it. He only really hungers for the taste of straight white booty cheeks.
Now, I tell you what, I like you, and I want you. Now, we can do this the easy way, or we can do it the hard way. The choice is yours.
Well, I don't think you and I will be doing anything any kind of way.
Okay, I see you choosing the hard way.
Okay, cut. This isn't working. Someone get this guy out.
So, while I was working on my previous project, Alfweagle had released 2 videos of interest to me, and I was trying to choose which one I wanted to respond to. The first one was his review of Deadpool Wolverine, which, since you've already seen the title of the video, you already know what I'm talking about today. And the other video I was interested in covering was his cope session of the Trump-Harris debate.
Overall, I think Trump did a really good job. Admittedly, he didn't do his best, but I think some people had their expectations a little too high since he is a demented old man. So, also the fact that the moderators were against him, it's clear that they were on Kamala's side. Trump was 3-on-1 fight with Trump against these Kamala and the moderators. And
that video honestly proved how much of a mindless Trump follower he is. For example, he stated we should not vote for Harris because she spreads lies, but we should vote for Trump, even though he was spreading lies about abortion and Haitians in Ohio eating cats and dogs. If he'll lie about that, then what else has he lied about? Even moving the goalpost for the right by saying that cats and dogs are still being eaten in Ohio, just not by Haitians though. And his proof for that is some random dude in Ohio that confirms his bias. Because if this random dude from Ohio is saying it's happening, then I'm going to use him as a reliable source because it confirms what I want to be true. Alfweagle just can't say Trump is wrong. He just can't bring himself to do that. He must dick ride Trump like no tomorrow and repeat everything Trump says. And saying that Trump is right by repeating everything Trump says, but not really elaborating on why it's actually a good point in the first place. I like to call that using circular reasoning. And Alfweagle is just doing all of this work because he loves his straight white men. There's no critical thinking whatsoever from Alfweagle, which is not surprising to be honest. I also want to make it clear I'm not a Harris supporter. No. I don't like Harris, I don't like Trump, alright? I don't think either one did good in that debate. Just in case he tries to label me a Harris supporter because I made fun of how much he loves Trump and how much he will suck his dick just to get him to come. If you want me to point out Harris' dick rider, just to be fair, then I'll just say Philip DeFranco because his video after that debate was just him full-on dick riding her the whole time. Jesus. Really, that video showed how Alfweagle does not hold up his standards and how it sways depending on who or what he likes. Speaking of, Deadpool and Wolverine, the second highest grossing movie of 2024, the highest grossing R-rated movie of all time. And the most important part about it is that it has straight white men, and you know Alfweagle loves his straight white men, and the movie being the subject of Alfweagle's review. Now, I was being hyperbolic in my title by calling this the worst Deadpool and Wolverine review. This review was terrible overall. But also, spoiler alert, Alfweagle spoils the movie in this video, so I'm going to talk about things he spoils in the movie. You have been warned. Now, the reason his review is terrible is because his video is 10 minutes long and almost 6 minutes of it is just summarizing the movie. And the most he does during that summary of the movie is going, I like that, or I don't like that. And without really elaborating on why he liked or disliked something for the most part. I think the only thing in the movie he ever gave a reason for liking and disliking was Gambit's costume. He liked how comic accurate it was, but he didn't like the cowl because it made Channing Tatum's face look round and fat. But here's some examples of what I mean by him not elaborating.
I don't like the movie version of X-23 that much since I hated Logan.
Why do you hate Logan?
By the way, they missed the opportunity to kill her in the same way that Bullseye did in the classic comics.
How was that a missed opportunity? What does that add to her character or the story as a whole? It's fairly similar to what you criticized X-Men 97 for. Oh look, something I recognized from X-Form Media. I clapped.
Wolverine and Deadpool have to stop her, but she has brought an army of Deadpools with her to stand in their way. Which brings me to my favorite line and my favorite part of the movie. Wolverine says to Deadpool something like, "You mean I get to kill 100 of you? Let's go."
Why is that your favorite line and part? There's nothing about that line that stands out at all. Nothing that tells us anything new about the character. Not even a payoff that was set up earlier in the movie. What does that line mean to you? Give us some insight, Alpha Eagle. Anything, please. Give me something to work with here. And really, the most you get from that summary is all the breathing into the mic.
I think.
After that summary, we're only left with 4 minutes of an actual review. It clearly did not justify being 10 minutes long. In the video, he says that Deadpool and Wolverine ranks in the middle of Doctor Strange Multiverse of Madness and Spider-Man No Way Home. And the reason why he says that is because of cameos, not because of the story or characters, what I think is the most important part of the movie. The reason why he ranks in the middle is because a movie like Spider-Man No Way Home had cameos that mattered more to the story than in Deadpool and Wolverine. What's funny is that both of those movies don't really have cameos. Here's the definition according to Merriam-Webster's dictionary: a small theatrical role usually performed by a well-known actor and often limited to a single scene. Now that's the actual definition, and I'm going to change it up a bit to fit like superheroes, supervillains, whatever. To a well-known superhero or supervillain that plays a small theatrical role and often limited to a few scenes. Now, the reason I don't really think that the few quote-unquote cameos he considers to be important are actually cameos in the first place is because they play an important part of the story. So characters like Blade, Gambit, Elektra, and X-23, they play a big role in helping Deadpool and Wolverine get back to Deadpool's universe to stop the TVA. And even to an extent helping them stop Cassandra from destroying all the universes. Without them, all the universes are gone, so they're not cameos in the slightest bit. But other appearances from like superheroes and supervillains are cameos, they are. And in Spider-Man No Way Home, those are not cameos either. These are villains pulled from previous live-action Spider-Man movies who become the villains of this movie. Their contribution to the movie is that Peter Parker is trying to find cures for all of them, because Peter Parker doesn't want to send them back to their own timelines because they all die in their movies. Well, at least most of them. I don't think Lizard dies in his, or Sandman dies, but the rest do. But whatever, that's a conversation for a different day. So the majority of No Way Home is spent trying to find a cure for all those villains. And in the end, they do get cured, and it's because of help from the two previous live-action Spider-Men. So the point I'm making is that none of them are cameos because they all play a big part instead of small parts. Doctor Strange's Multiverse of Madness are cameos because those characters don't play a big role at all. Just as soon as they're introduced, they die. So yeah, on to the next clip.
They could have given us characters like Professor X. He was Cassandra's twin brother after all. He would have been important to the story.
I get where you're coming from with this one, but it was already established by the movie that Cassandra kills variants of Charles Xavier, so if he had showed up, he would just add to the body count of the movie.
Perhaps we could have seen the Punisher or Daredevil. They are mentioned in the movie, but we don't see them.
Dude, they're dead. What would you show? Their corpses? If you want to say like showing them being killed, that doesn't add anything. Again, adds to the body count of the movie. It'd also just be like, oh, it's Daredevil and Punisher. I know those two. It'd almost be like a repeat of the Human Torch scenes. Characters would just show up to inform us who the bad guys are and then die. That's it.
Now, speaking of characters we're told about but not seen, where are the rest of the X-Men? This movie breaks the show don't tell rule. We are told about what happened to this Wolverine's X-Men, but we don't see it.
Again, I get where you're coming from with this one, but what we do see happen is all from Wolverine's perspective, at least inside his mind when Cassandra's like going through it. And that scene is showing him abandoning the X-Men while they're calling out for him. But we don't see it, no, but the point is to leave it up to our imagination to what horrible things the humans are doing to the X-Men. Hearing all those horrible screams, looking at Wolverine's face as he has to relive it all over again. We are being shown things, hearing things too. It's just not what you wanted to be shown.
I think that if Deadpool and Wolverine had a larger budget, was able to get more and better cameos, and focused on the cameos that mattered, it could have been as good, if not better, than No Way Home.
You're pretty much saying throw more money at the movie. The issues in the movie are its writing, its pacing, its climax, which is like messy as shit. Throwing more money at it is not the solution. Throwing more recognizable heroes is not the solution either. Again, a thing you criticized X-Men 97 for. Just throwing superheroes at the screen for us to be like, oh, I know that hero. I clapped. And even so, I don't even know what you mean by better and more important quote-unquote cameos. Again, elaborate on what you mean. I have no idea what you mean by that. I try to explain my interpretation of it, but I'd only end up doing the work for you. Whatever interpretation I could come up with, you'd be like, oh yeah, that's what I meant the whole time. Yeah, totally, bro. Yeah.
It was kind of a sausage fest. It could have used some Jessica Alba, Kelly Hu, Olivia Munn, and Halle Berry to give it some much-needed female sex appeal.
No, it did not need them. All the movie needed was Deadpool and Wolverine, them interacting with each other, fighting, setting aside their differences, and working together. That's all anyone really wanted from this movie. The inclusion of other heroes and villains was more of a treat for the audience. I don't know what Sue Storm, Lady Deathstrike, Psylocke, those last two are in the movie anyways, and Storm, I don't know what they would add to the movie. Are you that weirdo pervert that goes to movie theater to get a chub in your pants from seeing good-looking women on screen? It's not that kind of theater, Alpha Eagle. I don't know if you're making a joke because I don't think you're smart enough to make that kind of self-deprecating humor. If you are, you have managed to surprise me today. You really have. Clearly underestimated your skills in telling a joke, even if the delivery was like piss poor. And you know what? I think he's saying this after seeing Wolverine shirtless in the scene where Wolverine's shirt gets ripped off and we see his toned, sweaty abs. In that moment while in the theater, Alfie got to turn away and be like, pray the gay away, pray the gay away. He's like that one dude in a friend group mostly made up of guys who's secretly in the closet, but he tries really, really hard to prove he's straight. Let's just say they're all hanging out, having a perfectly good time, and he says something like, oh man, it's a real sausage party in here. Where the ladies at? So it's not so gay in here, you know, guys? And he's just tugging at the collar of his shirt, sweating profusely, while everyone else is just giving him a weird look. That's just how I picture it. Now, we've reached the part that's the most important in the video.
The big question is it woke? And the answer is no. This was two straight white males saving the universe, and
Yes, whenever I go see a movie, I'm not looking for a well-crafted story. I'm not looking for compelling three-dimensional characters with interesting or relatable motivations. No. Not even jaw-dropping cinematography or well-edited scenes, sound design, score, or whatever. No. I want to know whether or not the movie falls under woke, so I can write off the movie instead of giving it a chance on its own merits. Lucky for us, Alpha Eagle does not think the movie is woke, except for the fact that there's a fat black woman in charge of the TVA.
the biggest woke thing that they did is that they took that fat black woman from the Loki series, who was previously simply just a guard, and they made her the head of the TVA. That was stupid.
Apparently working hard and being promoted means it's woke because you're black, fat, and a woman. Remember, woke is not a good thing, and it's actually a problem. So seeing a fat black woman in position of power is actually a problem for Alpha Eagle. Before you think about calling him racist, he likes the one black guy in the movie. Therefore, you can't call him racist. This is Alpha Eagle considered to be woke in the first place. And no, it's not the actual proper definition of woke. This man has his own definition, okay? And it's a definition that even he agrees many conservatives don't agree with him on, because no one can agree on what woke means anymore. It lost all meaning a long time ago. But let's hear out Alpha Eagle's definition.
I define woke, as it refers to the media, as a slang term meaning an overcompensation of a perceived social or political problem that doesn't actually exist.
That's such an odd definition, one that would apply to your perceived social or political problem of not seeing straight white male leads in movies anymore. It would actually be an overcompensation to have more straight white lead males in movies. By your own definition. You are not at all cooking with that definition. Do not cook again. And no, that's not me trying to censor you, dumbass. Here's the clip I'm referencing.
Do not cook again. Stop. Like, this is dumb. Stop.
So, just like many leftists, I see wants to censor anyone who disagrees with him. I will cook again, I will not stop cooking, and I don't swear very often, but sincerely, fuck you for telling me to stop cooking.
What actions have I taken to try to silence you? It's like me saying, shut up, fuck you, you're an asshole. It's all free speech. By me saying don't cook again, I'm not advocating for you to be silenced by someone or something in any way. What if I said don't be stupid? In what way did I suppress it? In what way did I keep your IQ from lowering any more than it already has? Lord knows that's impossible by this point. You can't go lower than 0. You have no idea what censorship is if you think telling you not to cook is trying to censor you. How about you go open up a book for once in your life and actually read up on what it means and then come back to us? You've let your brain rot for so long that holes have started forming inside your brain, which explains your lapse in judgment in that last clip. Speaking of brain rot, I'm going to be doing a brain exorcise. No, not exercise. Since what I'm doing is driving out any form of common sense, rational thinking, and just downright dropping my IQ. What I'm about to do is try to prove this movie is woke by his own standards. They're very stupid standards, downright retarded standards. But that's why I call it brain rot. Why am I doing this, you're asking? Not only does it seem fun, but I'm also using it to criticize his inconsistent standards and how much they shift and whatever, you know? So for this, I'm going to be putting myself in Alpha Eagle's shoes. I'm going to think like an Alpha Eagle. I'm going to talk like an Alpha Eagle. I'm going to breathe like an Alpha Eagle. I'm going to dress like an Alpha Eagle. Before I do that, I'd like to add a disclaimer. These stunts are performed by a professional idiot, so for your safety and the protection of those around you, do not attempt any of the stunts you're about to see. The transformation has commenced. Doctor, please raise the brain rot. IQ is dropping. IQ is dropping. And we're done. Ladies and gentlemen, behold, Alpha Sherwood. No, I'm not going to turn no furry. He can keep that furry degeneracy to himself. I will go low. I'm not going that low. Anyways, hey everyone, Alpha Sherwood here again. Welcome back to my channel. I pray you're all doing well. And may God bless you all. From here on out, whenever the beta Sherwood needs me to prove this eagle wrong, I will show up to do so. Let's start off with the fact that our main protagonist is pansexual. A queer? That's pretty gay. What do you have to say to that, Eagle?
I know some people will claim that Deadpool is pansexual or whatever, but all the gay jokes he made were just that, jokes. He does that stuff to mess with people.
As the saying goes, the best jokes are funny because they're true. So by making a joke, Wade isn't meaning that's true. Deadpool's queer, again, proving me right.
There was no girl who was the key to everything to come save the day. They weren't pushing the message.
Wrong. You're very wrong, bird brain. Here's the clip of X-23, a Mexican woman. Not only did she beat a man who was much bigger than her, but she ended up taking his helmet, throwing it to Deadpool, stopping Cassandra, who was already handling another man like he was a dog. And I'll talk more about her in a bit. If X-23 had not killed Juggernaut and thrown the helmet to Deadpool, Deadpool's universe would be gone. So yes, a woman was the key to saving the universe. Liar. Let's talk more about X-23's team. A very diverse team if you ask me. And on that team we have 2 women. And not only is that woman a Mexican, but she's a clone of another man. There's also a black man, a white Cajun straight man. And then we add on Deadpool and Wolverine, which then gives us a white pansexual male and a white Canadian straight male. And as you can see, we only have 2 straight white men on a team of 6. They are the minority when they should be the majority. Now this is just a clear sign that the movie is woke. But let's go back to Cassandra Nova, the villain of the movie. A woman who in the movie commands her minions, who are mostly men, and yes, there are a few women, yet all we ever see from Cassandra is her being dominant over other men. Just look at this.
What do you want, Wade Wilson?
You come for the king. You better kill the king.
Shoot, Mummy and Daddy are having a conversation. Now, you're going to show me how to use this fancy gadget of yours, and don't worry, I've called some friends to make sure we're not disturbed.
This movie is clearly saying that men are pathetic and weak. They're treated like pets. Just look at her here, forcing Wolverine on his hands and knees like a dog. What more proof can I show?
Otherwise, I would say that this movie is devoid of wokeness.
Wrong. You are a liar, Eagle. I've just shown how woke this movie is. How can you criticize X-Men 97 for showing men to be nothing but pathetic and weak, but not do the same here? I think that you sold out to the woke mob. Now you're running to defend this movie like a leftist commie. Wait a minute. Aha! I knew it. I knew it all along. You're actually in AIDS commie. You were in disguise the whole time, trying to infiltrate the conservative party to poison us from within. Luckily for us, I was there to call you out. As always, all these lefties can do is lie to us about who they really are. This is no alpha. This is a beta cuck. You're unworthy of the title Alpha Eagle.
Unworthy of your title! You're unworthy!
You will no longer be referred to as Alpha Eagle. You will now be referred to as Dung Eater. You have been banished from the Alphas. Now be gone, thought. Anyway, that's about it for this video. I'm Alpha Sherwood. God bless you for watching. God bless America, and I pray that this Dung Eater sees the error of his ways and comes back to the light instead of sucking up to the woke mob.